Alright, welcome to my live BitMex, not live, but demonstrational video on BitMex for margin trading and how it kind of works here. So there are a couple of things you have to pay attention to. Oh, well, first I'm on the testnet server on BitMex. I'm trading on a demo account. And as you can see, I have an open long position here that's currently in profit. And there are a couple of things I need you to pay attention to. And the first one is here. This up here is my total balance on my entire account. And this is the available balance so the rest of my balance, so the money I can use to open new contracts, to open new positions on other contracts, for example. And I want you to pay attention to my current liquidation price and to the amount of margin I'm currently using. So I'm in isolated margin mode because I've defined that I want to have a 5x leverage for my current position. So that's the amount of margin, that's my margin requirement I need to put up front to have this position open. And what happens is, obviously, if you look at my total balance and my available balance, that it doesn't quite add up because because my available balance should be lower actually. But BitMex automatically does add your unrealized P&L down here to your margin requirement. So if you add this up or subtract it, you only need about 0.03 Bitcoin from your balance as your requirement here, because you're obviously in profit now, which is also the difference between your total balance and your available balance here. So that's kind of a nice feature from BitMex. So the more you are in profit, the less margin you have to actually put from your balance. And so what happens now if I, for example, slide it to a 10x leverage? And what just happened is my liquidation price went way up, but the amount of money or margin I'm risking in my account just went lower. It went from 0.05 Bitcoin to 0.03 Bitcoin. And I'm using a 10x leverage now, as you can see here also. And what happened up here is that my total balance and my available balance the difference between just went way smaller, because the same happens here. BitMex uses my unrealized P&L and adds it to my required margin position, my required margin for my position. So I have more available balance now, which is kind of nice. Actually, you can add additional margin if you want to lower your liquidation price, if you want to. So now my liquidation price obviously went $500 lower than before, and you can remove your additional margin you just added. And now it's higher again. So this is when you are in isolated margin. You have a defined amount of margin you are risking if this price is reached. So I'm sliding this now to cross margin. And there are a couple of things that happened now. My liquidation price just dropped. It's very low now. But that's because I'm now risking my entire balance if this price gets reached. So, and you can see that I'm on cross margin because it says cross here. And what happened up here is, from my total balance, the difference between my total balance and my available balance just went so small, it's almost unnoticeable. Because BitMex now always uses the highest leverage available if you are in profit to free up as much margin as possible for your position. So that's kind of the difference between isolated margin and cross margin. If you are new to trading, I wouldn't recommend for you using cross margin, because then you are more likely to lose a lot of money because you haven't set your stops straight or right. But if you're more experienced, I would recommend using cross margin, because BitMex automatically does the legwork for you, and you don't have to calculate how much money you are with how much money you are losing. So yeah,